Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Steady Focused. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for coming along with us. We got something special this evening. We're going to be sitting down with Mr. Fonda White. He's a former Wichita Falls Nighthawk who has been spreading positive information and sharing openly about his struggles with mental illness and his overcoming. He's putting out some excellent content, and I'm just very excited to shine a light on his story. He's seeking to make a positive difference in the lives of others, and he's absolutely succeeding. So guys, please help me give a huge, steady, focused welcome to my friend, Mr. Fonda White. Hey. Let me get you right there. How's it going, Fonda? Good to see you, my man.
I'm good, my man. How you doing?
Great. Man, so since this is in this new season of Steady Focused, since we've been back in the new studio and since I think it's been about the beginning of November, one of the first people that had reached out to me was you. And you were just encouraging me to, keep doing this, keep going. And I really appreciated that so much, man. And then, of course, our history, the Nighthawks, we were both part of that great thing. And then I start diving in on what you're doing and these videos that you're posting and your transparency and your honesty. And, here's this big, strong man, and he's talking about things like toxic people and why me and overcoming and not giving up and, just your ability to be vulnerable. I was and am like, I love it, dude. It pumps me up. So how are you doing tonight, man? I'm sorry. I just had to get that going. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, my man. I'm good here with you, ready to spread the positive and spread my message, man. And, get caught up with you, man.
So let's roll the clock back and make sure everybody can hear this in case you didn't know. Yes, back in the day when the Wichita Falls Nighthawks came to Wichita Falls and they kicked off, I was very fortunate to be the hype man. Yeah. And you were on the team. You were a tackle?
Left guard.
Left guard. Okay. So that's how we met,
right.
Talk a little bit about your college history and how you ended up into the Nighthawks.
Man, so I started off in Tyler Junior College and got a full scholarship there, and went to became an off-conference player and played with great guys. Some of my best friends to this day I played with, and then I got a scholarship to Midwestern State, and within that time I was going through a lot of things I was going through. And I had knee problems. I actually had a couple of my coach told me I had a couple of NFL teams look at me as well, or at least talk about me, put me in the mix of the conversation.
Yeah.
But I had knee problems. I have no cartilage in my knees, in both of my knees, man.
Gosh.
So when the Nighthawks came to town, it was kind of like, man, I wanted to redeem myself, of playing again and things of that nature. So I ended up playing, trying out, getting a starting position, and man, having a great time with those guys, and ended up winning the national championship.
Right on, man. It was right. Yes, it was the national championship.
Hot that day too.
Oh man, great memories, man, for sure. What are some of your biggest takeaways when you look back on that time in the Nighthawks and that special team?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so fast. You guys came on and just kind of like took the whole country by storm. What were some of your biggest highlights?
Honestly, the biggest highlight of that year and that time was really just the camaraderie with the guys. Just like hanging out with the guys. I even got to play with two of my best friends on the team that I played with in Tyler Junior College, Jesse Green and Ryan Taylor. And man, it was just a special bond we had. It was just like, because that's what, when you go to that level of teamwork and winning a championship, you got to have a bond. So it was a great bond with those guys, all of them.
Man, we got someone has commented, a good friend of mine, Nathan, and he's a podcaster as well. And Nathan, you'll have to comment and let us know, but where exactly you're living right now. I'm not for sure which state you're in, but man, Nathan definitely puts out a lot of content about keep showing up and perseverance and going for your goals. So that's cool. He's in to tune in on this. Wow. Yeah. So it's just awesome the way life works, you know, Fonda, the way we meet people, we go on with our life, and then the rivers cross again.
Right. Full circle, man.
It is, man. So one of the things you had posted recently, you were going into about a subject that I identify with. I think we probably all can, but it hit me at the right time. You were talking about toxic people being in our lives, and man, talk on that subject.
Yeah, man. I believe I make that subject because, or create that subject because I know a lot of people deal with it, and I've dealt with it too. Because a lot of my content I put out is personal experiences first, and then I kind of give my take on it. So, man, it's just when you are around people that are toxic and things of that nature. I left 3 tips on it. And one is identifying the toxic people, because sometimes we can not identify, toxic people. So we have to identify, we have to set boundaries, and we have to know when to let go and let God. So when you want to be successful and you want to make an impact in the world, toxic people, have no time in your life, so that's kind of what I touched on as far as that.
Man, I'm glad you mentioned it like that, because that was something that I loved and was inspired and encouraged, like, whoa, okay, I'm going to try something like I want to take a note from Fonda's book on this. A lot of your videos, you present a subject, toxic people, and then you say, hey, I'm going to break it down and I'm going to give you 3 tips or 3 things that I've thought about this subject. Boom, boom, boom. Right. And I thought, man, that's great. Because it got me going, like, what are the 3? Like, I want to feel this. I want to understand this, so thank you for teaching it like that. Just now you said, let go. Sometimes you got to let go and let God. Yeah. Did you say that?
Yeah.
I love that, man. Let go and let God.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's definitely, especially people that are, like I said in my video, especially people that are kind-hearted and have the right intention and mindset. It's really hard to let people go. That's why I put the set boundaries in there, because sometimes if we don't want to let them go, maybe we can love them from a distance, so, but let go and let God. It's like, let go of the things that are toxic to you and just let God, bring you along the way, so you got to keep the faith, you got to keep the faith that you're bigger than what you are at this point, so you're much more,
That's good, dude.
Yeah.
That's good, Fonda. You got a way about you that you're able to bring a message that it can be impactful and be digested and relatable. So, just talking with you again, it's just reminding me, I'm so grateful, man, for, like I was saying, the way life works and people come back into our lives, and I'm inspired by what you're doing, man. Big time.
I appreciate you too, man. Thank you.
Yeah. You've talked, it reminds me of, I was watching CT Fletcher. Are you familiar with CT?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're both the athletes and, coming back into it. So of course, CT Fletcher, he grew up in an abusive home, and he talks openly about how those demons haunted him up until his 50s, late 50s, mid 50s. And then he was able to kind of come to grips with that. And, he actually went to his father. He had been waiting his whole life for his father to apologize to him for what he had done and things. And he had just one point said, you know what, I'm going to go to my father and I'm going to apologize to him. Right. And he tells this whole story, and that the struggle that we go through builds us. Yes. And it makes us these things where we can talk about these things. We can talk about toxic people. We can talk about loving ourselves. We can talk about, why me and self-hate and all of this and self-love, because we've been there
Right.
and we understand. So talk a little bit about your struggle.
Man, well, growing up, it was definitely a different household I grew up in. Was a dysfunctional family. A lot of people thought that we had things together, but really wasn't. But at the time, growing up, I didn't understand that I was going through these things as far as my own mental health. You know, and man, I remember the first time I saw a figure. I have schizoaffective disorder, which is bipolar and schizophrenia together.
Okay.
It's just not one of the others together. And so I used to see hallucinations and hear voices and things of that nature. And just going through middle school, high school, I was a all city player in high school and all district player in high school, but nobody understood I was going through these things.
Mm.
And then when I got to college, Tyler Junior College, at first I started to take, pain pills for my knee, but then I got addicted to them, and I started just taking them like I needed to function to take, these pills. And then moving on to Midwestern, man, it was definitely my demons were rising because I started drinking alcohol every single day, going to class drunk, off of pills and everything. And even dealing with the Nighthawks, I was actually going through things as well, relationship things and just suicide attempts. I tried to end my life 4 times in my life, um, so 2 from pills, 1 from hanging, and the other from actually cutting my own wrist.
Mm.
And then probably around, I graduated in 2013, so probably around 2014, I just I was really deeply heavy into the drugs and the alcohol. And at 25, statistically at 25 for men, when you have a mental illness, that's when it starts to flare up and come up. And that's when people in my family were telling me I needed help. I needed the help, and I didn't want to believe it, because once you go through these type of things, you don't want to believe it. You just want to drown yourself, with alcohol or whatnot, self harm.
Yeah.
So came home 2014, got on different medications, made me feel like a zombie. Got me, I went to jail in 2013, so I was on probation for a year. And while I was on probation, I had a manic episode. While I was in that manic episode, I was driving drunk, switching lanes, passing red lights, and I actually made it to the neighborhood. And there was a kid playing basketball or something, and I checked down to change the music of the phone on my phone, and he moved out the way, and I swerved, and the car flipped twice over. So went through that, which is, man, definitely a blessing. But once, I think in 2017, I was diagnosed that's when they had diagnosed me with schizoaffective disorder. And 2018 or 2017, excuse me, I just was at my lowest. I'll be honest with you, man, I didn't take care of my hygiene.
Okay.
I gained I was 385 pounds, also, I just didn't take care of myself mentally,
Yeah.
and I was at my lowest, and I had to think of a way to do something. At times when you're at your lowest, you feel like there's no way to go but up, and that's why I always talk about hope. That's really what my message is hope, ensuring hope back into people's lives, because I know what it feels like to lose hope and lose everything.
Mm.
So 2017, I made the decision, man. I made the decision to change my life, and got on the right medication. I got, fast forward to 2018, got a chance to go to LA, Los Angeles, tell my story. this one lady, never forget her name, man. Miss Christy Mott. She gave my first speaking engagement in San Antonio, here in San Antonio. That's where I'm from. And spoke in front of 500 people about my story. And from that point on, man, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to make my impact in the world and contribute to the world. So long story, a little long story, probably more into it, but those are the highlights. But yeah, man, definitely been a journey. Definitely been a journey.
Wow. So what do you say, or how do you feel, or how do you answer to yourself when you hear the term, why me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I ask myself that a lot in my dark days. Why me? I probably spent more time asking why me instead of why me, and what I mean by that is just like, man, if you look at the situation, say, why me, man? Why me? But excuse me, I meant to say try me. And if you say like why me, but try me, like, okay, put me through these things, because I know I have a bigger God has a bigger plan for me. But when I was in those times when I was saying why me, why me, why me, and there were so many signs, because that's what you got to do. You got to pay attention to the signs. When God is trying to show you the way out, He's trying to show you the way out of your depression, of your hopelessness, your anxiety, or whatever you're going through. He's going to show you the way out. And so yeah, it was definitely a why me moment, a lot of why me moments, but you got to flip it around. You got to change your mindset to try me. Try me, because I know something's better out there for me.
Man, I feel that, dude. When I think of why me, it makes me think of, why would a mother deserve to watch her son or daughter die?
Right.
Why me? Why her? Why any of us? And I am not the most suffered. I know there's more, people have endured way more than what I have. But it's like, this is just, man, life is not fair.
Right.
Life is beautiful. Life is a bitch,
Yeah.
And I love how you're talking about, get through it, and to strengthen us. And because there's something more on the other side. Oh man, what was it like when you came to a awakening after your car flipped?
When I came to awakening at my car flip, it was I was actually kind of still drunk in a sense, but I was telling my mom everything. I just kind of told her everything, about the voices and things of that nature. But to take a step further, it's just, I feel like, your pain comes from your purpose. A lot of people, and this is what I learned as my process of coming into my awakening, was that everything that I was going through, as far as the pain that I felt or the pain that I was going through, it was all for a purpose. It's all for speaking to the 18 or 19 or 22-year-old Fonda that was living his life, literally living his life like every day I'm going to die. I know any minute I'm going to die. Either I'm going to do it myself or somebody's going to do it for me. And it just wasn't a healthy way of living. But I understood that, well, getting a little older, I understood that my pain comes from my purpose. So now my purpose is to talk to my younger self. And I know there's a lot of people, millions of people that were like my younger self. So.
Dang, my pain comes from my purpose. Wow. I'm taking notes, man. It's like, so what is your current self-help look like? I mean, do you go to a counselor? Are you do you have a kind of a circle that you confide in? You're like, how do you kind of keep yourself mentally healthy?
Right. Definitely. When I was going through my dark times, definitely had a psychiatrist, a great psychiatrist. She helped me through a lot of things. As far as counseling, yes, I went through counseling as well too. And I know that's a different topic especially for the African American community. They don't
Okay.
talk about therapy, but hey, it helped me, and it can help millions, So went through that, but what I've learned as well as for taking care of my own mental health is, it's your own mental health, So a lot of people can, be there for you and talk to you and things. Because my family's great, my grandmother and my mom and sister, and I have my faith in God. But at the end of the day, when you're in that room by yourself, you're by yourself. So how I took care of my own mental health was things I tried to do was to learn about. For one, I want to learn about my diagnosis. I want to learn about how to understand my triggers. Understand myself on a personal level, because I was playing football, doing school, in and out relationships, all the things I was doing. And when I came home in 2014, I didn't understand who Fonda White was, so I had to learn myself all over again. And I think that's one of the biggest keys you can take away is learning yourself, really loving yourself once again, and kind of bringing it out to fruition.
Man, you're just dropping so much real, and so you touched on that counseling is kind of a 4-letter word in the African American community, right? Is that, and so what do you say to somebody out there, white, black, Asian, whatever, that says, they know that they have some issues going on, but they're afraid to reach out to a counselor?
I would say to them, if you're afraid to reach out to a counselor, at least try to reach out to someone, someone maybe in your family or a close friend or just a loved one, just reach out to somebody, because a lot of people can hold in the anger, the anxiety, the depression. They can hold it in, but if you reach out to somebody, it can at least, ease the tension, ease the feelings, and if you want to, if you feel comfortable in that state, because that's how I was, I would not tell a lot of people about what I was going through. And then I started to kind of tell my best friends and kind of tell my family. Then I kind of moved up to counseling, because, counseling, talking to somebody that you don't really know, but they're just like, so it's kind of
be
hard,
intimidating.
Right. But if you kind of take those baby steps to at least releasing this information or that information out, it can lead up to counseling, but not saying it's the best way. It was just the best way for me at the time.
Yeah.
You got to find your own way to kind of get yourself expressed.
That's true, man. And I believe that from my own experience, that when I just open up, and just whatever I'm feeling inside, and just open up a little bit, even like I say, maybe to my son or my wife or someone, and just a little bit,
Right.
It's like we're a pressure cooker, and just a little bit of that releases out. Yeah. So, man, we carry so much inside of us.
Yeah.
That maybe we don't have to carry.
Yeah. True.
One of the things you were wanting to touch on was production.
Yeah.
And kind of raise the production value up a little bit. I'll kind of share right now what I've got going on here.
Okay.
And I know you're a fan of Michael Carmichael, right?
Evan Carmichael. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Evan Carmichael. I don't know why I keep saying Michael Carmichael. Evan Carmichael. Yeah. And so if you guys haven't checked him out, look at him. He's good. A massive amount of content that he's putting out. A lot of his YouTube videos let's say he'll do, I'm going to talk about 5 things that Fonda White lives by. And so he pulls in footage from interviews and video clips that these people have done, but he'll talk to the camera for a little bit and put some words on the screen. So I studied his setup a little bit, and I think it's pretty similar to what I'm doing here. I think he's got one camera right in front of him, which I have right here. And the one that I'm actually using that we're looking at is a Panasonic GH4. That's the one that I have. And, you know, so those, it's like, how much do you want to spend on a camera? But that one's, it's several years older. So you could probably get that camera and the lens that I have on it, maybe like 600. And then of course you can do all your videos with it. It's a really good camera. This mic that I have right here, this is a Blue Yeti. And it's a USB, so it plugs straight in. This mic is about $95, you know, so, but you can get it. I'm sure you can find it used on eBay or something like that. Right. And then I just have one light right above me. And what I'll do is when this episode goes up on SteadyFocused.com, let me, I'm going to see what episode this is going to be when it goes up. Make sure I say that right. Yeah, so it's going to be episode 94. So it'll be SteadyFocused.com/94. Okay. And what I'm going to do, Fonda, I'm going to put some behind the scenes pics of my setup so you can kind of see what I got going on. So right above me, this one light is a very basic light, and you can get like a full kit for, I don't know, like $100, $200. It's a very inexpensive light, but it's just got like a soft light to kind of light me up. And then behind me, let me go the other way. Okay. You can see, well, you can't, but you see that's lit up orange. Yeah. And so I just have a little light on the ground right there. So, you know, lighting is the very first episode of Steady Focused. When I first started this, it was about me talking about photography and video. Mm-hmm. And the first episode was video and photography is all about lighting. Right. And it is, you know, so I had reached out to, we had Steven Santiana. He's the mayor of Wichita Falls. We had him on a few episodes back, and he was talking about, Simeon, what setup should I do for I'm doing a lot of Zoom meetings and Skype meetings and things like this. And I gave him a couple of recommendations for a basic light that I thought would do really good, that he could kind of even clip on his laptop and give him some light right there. So I'll send those over to you and just give you some links. And yeah, and we just keep growing along the way. You know, this setup, it had took me, I'd been wanting to do live episodes for a long time, and I wanted to do it with this camera, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't plug that camera into here. And then there was this thing that I was missing, and it's called a cam link. That's what it ended up being. And again, guys, I'm going to put a link to all this stuff in the episode. So SteadyFocused.com/94, and you can see what I'm talking about. But anyway, that allows for one of these nicer cameras to plug straight in to the laptop. Yeah. But man, you know, the videos that you're putting out look great. And I get asked so many times, like, what camera should I use, Simeon? What camera should I use? The camera that we should use is the camera that we have to start, you know, number one. And pretty much the majority of us have a freaking production studio in our pocket all the time with an iPhone or the Android. It's nuts how good these cameras are. Yeah. It's crazy. So, man, your videos look great. What I'm seeing, I think it's about just keep doing it.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. You know Gary Vaynerchuk.
Evan Carmichael and Gary Vee are my two favorite entrepreneurs of all time. So yeah.
Okay.
Gary Vee.
Well, we're very similar. Well, then Gary Vee is just like, it's all about content. Just keep putting it out. Keep putting it out. Keep going. Keep going. And then just like this, you'll get on a show over here. You're gonna get on there. You're gonna get on it in San Antonio. You're gonna do your talk. You know, and then. So what you could do as far as more content, you could take this video that we're creating right here and reach out to someone on Fiverr right? Fiverr, Fiverr.com. And that's a place that you can hire people to do different creative things for you. Very inexpensive. People from all around the world. You could give them this video and say, hey, I need you to chop this up for me. Give me several videos of me talking, and maybe put the words at the top. Like, I'm going to at least do one from this talk, and then I'll share it out. But so much of what you've given is great.
Yeah.
And you just take those and then you share that 15 seconds or 3 minutes of this 45-minute conversation, put like a tag along the top that says toxic people, like you're doing on your videos. You're already doing that, you know. You got your headline and then put it out, but just keep trimming it. So you'll have a lot of good content out of this interview that we're doing right here. So, but I mean, if you're following Gary and you're following Evan Carmichael, you know about content.
Oh yeah. Yeah, most definitely, man. Yeah.
Man, so how's Christmas going to be for you guys?
Just the immediate family, man. Mom's sister, mom's boyfriend, and me and my aunt and my cousin. So yeah, it'll be a small Christmas, but a good one though. Have you got COVID?
I have not. Okay. Anyone of your close family has gotten it?
Oh no, thank God. No.
Okay. We got up here in Wichita Falls, and I know it's gone out across the whole country, but in Wichita Falls at United Regional, where I work, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was Friday. My days are on. Today is Monday, so it was Friday. We started giving out the vaccine here at United Regional. So, and my wife just got it today.
Oh.
She works at the trauma services. So, man, it's just a big moment in our history, you know.
Wow. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Most definitely.
Yeah. It's scary. I know it kept us during Thanksgiving to not go out and be with the rest, our extended family like we normally would have. But I've gotten COVID and I've come through it. It was intense, man. And I feel like I'm a healthy young man.
Right.
You know, I'm 40, but I still feel like I'm a healthy young man. And it kicked my ass, dude. And I just remember thinking I would not want one of my kids to go through this, or someone who's older, like my mom or my dad. Because
that's tough, man. But I'm glad you got through it, though. You know?
Yeah. And I could tell the story about it. I can relate with it. And I just have a different perspective. And from working at the hospital and seeing the volume of people who have come in, the high volume that we're having, and, you know, the load that it's taking on the nurses as well as the community. So
yeah.
It's just crazy, man. Yeah. So anyways, let's talk about the future. You know, what do you have? What's your plans, man? Where do you want to go from here? What are some of your dreams? I always say that if identifying our truest desire is similar to leveling up in a Nintendo game.
Right. Yeah.
So what is your true passion, desire?
Man, my true passion, well, I always say my foundation is motivational speaking first and foremost. I know I do a lot of things. I do music, I do fitness, I do, writing. You know, I'm trying to write a book, but I keep getting off subject with that. But,
okay.
But my foundation is motivational speaking, man. One day, hopefully to be on TED Talk, hopefully speaking, in millions of people, thousands of people. You know, I always tell people I want to be like the next, the Black Tony Robbins one day, man. So
yes,
that's always been one of my biggest dreams recently, probably about last 3 years, So just to keep spreading my message of hope and just ensuring the best quality of life for people, man, and bringing so much value to people. That's my biggest dream.
Damn it, man. I love you, Fonda. I love it, man. You're speaking my language. If you guys go to my Instagram right now, one of my on it says future TED speaker. Oh, yeah, that's one of my dreams. And you know what? And I'm like, Simeon, when was the last time you said that? When was the last time you said out loud, hey, I'm going to be on TED? Do you
Right.
do dream boards or vision boards? Are you familiar with those? Do you mess with those?
Yeah, actually, that's funny because I actually have my pictures and my board. I just haven't put it up yet.
Okay.
I keep a lot of pictures around my room and my quotes and sayings in my living room and things of that nature. Because another thing I want to do is one day I want to have a huge production company.
Okay.
One day at a time production company, ODAT.
Yeah.
And and just have a team and everything like that, just kind of doing the same videos I'm doing now, but just on a bigger platform.
There you go.
And have a team behind me. And also with Rise to Strive, my other business company, is that I want that to be kind of my philanthropy, giving back. Rise to Strive, always rise to the occasion, strive to the situation. I say it a lot in my videos, and so I kind of want that to be the nonprofit organization. But my main focus is one day at a time production, and just trying to keep going and spread that message. Just like you said, keep going, with content and keep being consistent about it. So
there you go.
That's what I'm trying to do, man.
I know, man. Just being consistent, showing up. Just show up, man. Whenever I have those thoughts inside my head, and like I start going down the path, whatever the path is, like towards success, like I feel like I'm being called to do.
Right.
And then that other voice starts coming in like, yeah, but it's not good enough, or yeah, but you're not good enough, or
Right.
yeah, but. And then, man, I'm just like, shut up.
Yeah.
You're not getting paid to think right now.
Right.
Do the work.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, I've been thinking about content with SteadyFocused and where do I want to go and where am I being led? And, as I'm doing these interviews, I'm learning, of course, like we're learning, like I'm learning about how to get the best quality, for the guest as well as myself. And, I was writing to myself this morning, and it was just talking about, when we get started on something, we're not going to be able to predict all the roadblocks and proactively negate them or plan for them. Like I'm not going to know that these are going to be issues that I have to overcome until I start swimming the race, until I actually get in there, get wet, and start figuring it out. Then I'm like, man, I'm frustrated by this. I need to overcome this. So I'm feeling roadblocks. I'm seeing roadblocks. I'm experiencing struggles. That's great because I'm learning.
Yeah. Yep.
Damn.
So I get that, man, because two things I can touch on is when I first started doing my videos, I used to put the camera like up to my face, and one person was like, "Can you back up off the camera a bit?" So I had to learn in the process as well. But man, one thing I can touch on is passion, man. I feel like if you have a passion for something, like like I've named all the things I love to do, I have hobbies and everything, but some days not even some days, almost every single day, I cannot wake up. I cannot wait to get up and make a video, just my message. So it's like when you have that passion for something, that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you going in the right direction,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, of course you have those days where you're like, am I doing this right? Am I doing, am I going in the right direction? But I feel like the heart leads, man. Then the mind kind of, the heart leads, and then the mind kind of helps you get through the logic part of it, but let that heart lead, man. Let that heart lead, man, because it's definitely gonna lead you in the right direction.
You got some great vocabulary, and you got an excellent mindset.
Thank you,
man. So much. I've written so much down from what you're saying. Philanthropy, heart leads, passion. My pain comes from my purpose. Let go and let God. Hope. Man, I don't know if you have heard, but at the beginning of this year, I had him on the show a while back, a good friend of mine, Mr. Mike Battolino. He's on a quest to become the strongest man in America. He's going to the national competition. I think it's in June. It got postponed from 2020 because of COVID and everything. So he was basically peaking for June of last year, and it fell through. So he's just carried through.
Right.
And so he's going to be going back in June. We're going to go, we're doing a documentary series about it.
Ooh, that's cool.
So, but talking with him, and he mentioned the book Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
I haven't read it.
Have you read it?
I haven't read it, but I heard of it.
Okay. Well, man, I just want to extend an invitation to you that through our conversation, he said, you know what? I'm going to reread that on January 1st. And I said, okay, I'm going to reread it too. I'll commit to that. So I'm just kind of spreading the word. If you want to join us, great. I don't know, maybe there'll be some sort of a reflection episode of anyone who does it. But I first listened to it on Audible, and it was just great. And so this time I'm going to read it. For those of you guys that may not know, but Viktor Frankl, he was a therapist, and he was actually a Holocaust survivor. So here he is in a concentration camp, and he watched several of his family members die in the concentration camp, and people suffering. He himself almost died. He came out of it, and out of this, he kind of recognized that even when we're in the most horrific of conditions, literally watching our mother, our daughter, not our daughter, but our mother, our sister die in a concentration camp, he realized that there was still a hope and for staying alive. And in that there was a meaning for living. And so that's kind of what this book is about. And I'm just excited to go through it again. So anyway, I'm just putting it out there. Anybody who's listening, I've been talking a lot about it, but man, search for meaning. We'll touch base with you, and final thoughts. I'm just going to kind of give you the floor and let you, what's on your mind, my man?
Man, on my mind, I just want to say that for anybody out there that feels like they lost hope, I just want to say that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and just to keep persevering and keep going no matter what, because like my favorite entrepreneur always says, we're all built to serve. We're all built to serve in this world we're living in. And I know life gets hard and things of that nature, but just keep going. And for me, I'm gonna do my best to keep trying to change the world. Keep trying to change the world, and just some dude trying to change the world. So my final thoughts, my man.
So if people want to find you more online, they want to watch some of these videos and keep up with you and stay motivated with you, how can they find you?
Everything is Fonda White. That's funny because I just changed my Facebook back to public today after we talked. So Fonda White, Instagram is Fonda White Jr. I will be starting my YouTube kind of when I get the means of trying to, get it out there and put the right stuff out there. It's Fonda White Jr. as well. So everything's Fonda White Jr. And that's where you can find me, Instagram and Facebook. That's where I'm mostly at. So, yeah.
There it is, guys. And I encourage you to check him out. Go follow, go listen, go give him some high fives, and wow, so many great things that Fonda has given to us this evening. If you guys have gotten any value, any inspiration, any aha moments, any peace, any clarity, any creative juices flowing in your brain, please share this with somebody. Tell somebody about what Fonda's doing. Tell somebody about SteadyFocused. Like he said, we're just two dudes going down the path of life, trying to make a positive difference in this world. Tell somebody. Until next time, I'm your host. I'm your number one, Mr. SimeonHendrix. And this is SteadyFocused.